I stood beneath the sky of my homeland. The wind carried whispers of her name. Every star above was glowing with patience, but my heart burned in the quiet flame. I waited where the sand kisses the sea, where the falcons rise, where the deserts breathe. My soul cried softly, yet no one could hear, only the silence and the wounds beneath. The world thought I was strong like the dunes, unshaken, eternal, unbending, free. But inside my chest was a trembling voice that begged for the one who never came to me. Nights grew heavy, their shadows long. I painted her face on the canvas of dawn. I whispered to the moon, "Send her my plea." But the moon just wept and kept moving on. The gardens of my memory bloomed with her smile. Her laughter was water, her eyes like rain, but the garden turned into a desert of ash when she did not arrive and left me in pain. I waited in silence. I waited with tears. I waited with courage. I waited with fear. Every breath was a prayer, every sigh a song. But the silence answered, "She won't appear." So I wrote her name on the wings of time, hoping the wind would carry it far. But the letters broke in the emptiness and vanished under the weight of stars. The silence became my closest friend. It wrapped me tight when the nights were cold. It whispered to me, "Be patient, endure." But patience was heavy, and silence was bold. I carved her image on the walls of thought. Every glance of memory was sharp as a blade. The echoes of laughter became broken glass, and on every shard my heartbeat laid. I asked the desert, "Where did she go?" I asked the sea, "Did you see her face?" The desert sighed with a hollow wind. The sea wept foam in her empty place. The falcons circled above the dunes. They screamed my sorrow into the sky. Yet no reply from the heavens came, only the echo of my lonely cry. Her perfume still lingers in the breeze, a ghost that teases but never stays. I chase it like a thirsty wanderer, but it vanishes into endless haze. Every sunset carries her shadow, every sunrise carries her dream. But I remain chained to the silence, living in echoes, drowning in screams. I built a palace of waiting hearts, a throne of longing, a crown of pain. But the palace is empty, the halls are bare, because she never stepped in again. My voice has turned into wounded strings, a harp of sorrow no hands can play. It sings of love that was never returned, of nights that devoured the light of day. Still, I sit by the edge of silence, writing poems that the stars may keep, hoping one day she might hear my call and awaken my soul from eternal sleep. The nights grew longer than mountains of stone, each hour a desert, each second a thorn. The silence was louder than thunder's cry. It mocked the hope that was newly born. I walked in gardens that once held her smile. The roses bent low, their petals torn. Even the jasmine refused to bloom, for it knew its queen would never return. I lit a lantern in the deepest dark, a flame of love on a trembling string. But the wind of absence blew it out, and shadows devoured everything. Her absence became my second skin, her memory my eternal chain. I carried it heavy through endless days. Yet still, I whispered her name in vain. The stars above seemed to turn away, ashamed to watch my endless plea. The moon itself grew pale and thin, tired of shining where she won't be. I spoke to the sand. It gave me no word. I wept to the sky. It gave me no rain. The earth was silent. The heavens were blind. Yet my heart kept calling her name again. I built an altar of broken dreams. I laid my soul on its bleeding stone, prayed that love would resurrect. But silence answered me all alone. Every prayer was a feather burned, every wish was a river dry. Yet still I begged the endless void to let me see her, or let me die. But death itself refused to come. It left me chained to the empty flame, and so I live inside my grief, waiting for her, though she never came, the sparkle of dreams in his radiant face. But now he lies quiet, a warrior at rest, fighting a battle within his own chest. Her whispers are poems, though broken they seem. She weaves them together, like threads in a dream. Stay with me, love, don't let go tonight. You are my dawn, my guiding light. Time slows down in this sacred place, where love is written on every trace. Her tears are rivers, her soul is a flame, carving his memory, whispering his name. The rain outside tapped gently against the glass, as if heaven itself was weeping for the past. She lifted her head, watching the storm unfold, prayers unspoken, stories untold. Her mind wandered back to brighter days, when his laughter lit up her darkest maze. He was the sun, the song of spring, her every heartbeat, her everything. She recalled their walks beneath the moon, their whispered promises, their sweet monsoon, how his hand fit perfectly into her own, how he vowed she'd never walk alone. But fate is cruel, a thief in disguise. It steals the stars from devoted skies. And here she sat, between hope and despair, holding his hand like a silent prayer. The doctors moved swiftly, their faces unread, carrying burdens of what might be said. But she refused to listen. She closed her eyes, believing love stronger than any goodbyes. Her heart became a battlefield of pain, memories flooding like unending rain. Each drop a chapter, each sigh a plea, each moment a wound that would never be free. She whispered to him, though he could not reply, "Do you hear me, love? Don't let us say goodbye. I will fight the night. I will fight the storm, as long as your heart continues to warm." Then silence returned, heavier than before, a silence that carved deep into her core. Yet still her spirit refused to break, for love like hers no storm could shake. Her tears fell slowly, but her eyes held fire, a devotion eternal, a sacred desire. For even in pain, her soul would sing that love endures through everything. She remembered the day he wrote her a song, telling her she was where he belonged. He said, "If life ever dims the skies above, hold on to me, for I am your love." And so she held tighter, her fingers entwined, praying his soul would answer, aligned. The machines hummed softly, a lullaby of fate, but she whispered, "I'll wait, I'll wait." The night grew longer, shadows stretched tall. Every heartbeat echoed against the sterile wall. The world outside slept under moon's soft glow, but inside her chest, storms continued to grow. She leaned closer, her lips near his ear,